Today, we're diving into an idea that might just change the way you see history itself. We're looking at a hidden cycle in the Quran, a pattern that suggests one of its most famous stories is a perfect reflection of its very first. So let me ask you this. Is history a straight line, where things happen once and are gone forever? Or could it be a loop? Are we all just living out patterns that were set in motion at the very dawn of time? Well, according to one really fascinating interpretation, sacred history is exactly that, a repeating pattern, almost like a divine clockwork. And the most stunning example of this is how the story of Yusuf, or Joseph, seems to perfectly overlay the story of Adam. To get this, we have to start with the forces that drive the whole cycle. So let's break this down. To understand the loop, you first have to understand the two primal forces that are constantly at war. Think of it like this. At the heart of everything, there's this primordial conflict. On one side, you have the force of light. This is all about knowledge, mercy, and submitting to a higher will. On the other side, the force of fire. This is pride, envy, and rebellion. Now, this isn't just some dusty old metaphor. This framework sees this conflict as the very engine of history, playing out not just in heaven and on earth, but inside every single one of us. And where does it all start? It starts right here with Iblis. When he's told to bow to Adam, a being made of clay, he refuses. Why? Pride. He says, "I am better. You created me from fire." That one act of rebellion, born from pure arrogance, is what kicks this whole cosmic cycle into gear.
Okay, so let's watch how this drama unfolds for the very first time in the story of Adam.
So here's the blueprint. First, Adam is chosen and honored. That's the light being crowned. But that divine choice immediately sparks the fire of pride in Iblis, who just can't stand to see another being honored. Then comes the warning. Allah tells Adam to be careful, basically saying this divine knowledge has to be protected from envy. But it's already too late. Iblis is already plotting, totally driven by this need to undo the divine choice.
And here it is. This is the core idea. This pattern isn't a one-and-done thing. It's like a fractal, a shape that repeats itself over and over. Divine choice, fiery envy, a warning, and a plot. And that exact same pattern is about to replay, almost perfectly, in the life of Yusuf.
Now, let's watch how this loop plays out in real time. This is where you can literally see the two stories snap together like puzzle pieces. So, here are the 5 stages of this cosmic cycle. It always starts with a divine choice. That choice is always met with envy and rebellion. This leads to an expulsion, a fall into some kind of darkness for a test. That's followed by temptation, a trial of desire. And it all leads to the final stage, restoration, where the light wins and the divine plan is proven right. Now, let's map this onto our 2 stories. Okay, check this out. The parallels are just incredible. Yusuf has a dream where the sun, moon, and stars bow to him, a perfect echo of the angels bowing to Adam. And just like before, this sign of divine favor sparks a raging envy, this time in his brothers, just like it did in Iblis. And their reaction? Killer cast him away. It's the exact same destructive impulse that drove Shaitan to want to destroy Adam. And the pattern just keeps going. Yusuf is thrown into the darkness of a well, right? It's a physical representation of Adam being cast down from paradise to earth. Then, both face a test of desire, Yusuf with the governor's wife, Adam with the forbidden fruit. Even Yusuf's false imprisonment mirrors the human condition on earth, a kind of confinement where we're meant to be purified. And finally, we get to the restoration. Yusuf's God-given ability to interpret dreams, that's the return of divine knowledge, just as divine guidance was eventually restored to humanity through the prophets. And in the end, what happens? His brothers bow to him, bringing that original dream to life. The cycle is complete. The light of knowledge has conquered the fire of pride. So this is a mind-blowing way to look at history, for sure. But here's the thing. According to this view, the real point isn't just to look back at the past. It's about what's happening right now, inside of you. To bring this home, you need to know one crucial term, the nafs. The nafs is the self, your soul, your ego. And it is the inner battlefield, where that same cosmic struggle, light versus fire, submission versus pride, is fought every single moment of every single day. And believe me, the stakes are as high as they get. The Quran makes it crystal clear. Our entire success or failure in this life and the next hinges on this one battle, whether we purify our nafs or let it become corrupted. And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. Adam and Yusuf, They're not just figures from the past. Their stories become a mirror, a detailed map of the journey that every single one of our souls is on, a journey through trials, temptations, and hopefully restoration. So what do we do with this map? I mean, how can it actually help us navigate our own messy, complicated lives?
Well, when you look at it this way, the Quran becomes something incredible, a manual of the loop. It becomes a guide to help you figure out where you are in your own personal cycle. Are you feeling chosen, but suddenly facing a wave of envy from others? Are you feeling like you've been thrown into a well of darkness and despair? Are you facing a huge temptation that's testing everything you believe? This manual is designed to show you the way through.
So, I'll leave you with this question. If our lives really are a repeating pattern of trial, expulsion, and restoration, take a second and think about it. Which part of the story, which part of the loop are you living right now?